But before we do, this is about health and life. So instead of just talking about it, I thought maybe for a minute or so, we'll do something healthy, okay? We are going to play music, we are going to exercise, all of us together. Very simple. Thank you. Now, before I start to talk about the topic, how do you make this on the screen? F5. Yesterday was a historical day. For those who have been here before, there used not to be an internet connection and not Wi-Fi. There was kind of Wi-Fi that maybe one or two people could do it for 1 hour a day, but there was no Wi-Fi for everybody because the conference charges about 100 euros per participant. We could not afford it. So yesterday was a historic day because of Hans, Dietmar, and others who worked out somehow, and an instrument was brought here, and now there is an internet connection. You can get it from this. All right? So I just wanted to let you know that we live in a historical time. Okay. Consumer electronics, if you look on the evolution of consumer electronics, and in analog to what Darwin said, I'm not necessarily saying that what he said was right. You know, some people believe in that, some people don't. I'm basically agnostic. I don't actually know. Maybe yes, maybe not. But if you put the consumer electronics devices, you see, let's say, started with a phone, radio, refrigerator, TV, transistor radio, laptop, a mobile phone, you know, not a smartphone, and then a smartphone, and then the Internet of Things, or the Internet of Everything, and then a wearable computer. Computing, and the person here is Professor Steve Mann from the University of Toronto, who actually is the father of wearable computing. So why do I bring you that? Because before, always the human interaction with the devices was important. You know, refrigerator, you want to have a nice colors, nice shape, not too high, so you have to climb a ladder to pick up the food. Always some human consideration, because the human is a consumer. But as we go to the Internet of Everything and to wearable, it has become much more important because now the devices are on us. So now we have to include more than ever and to understand how human beings do things and what they like, what they don't like. I'll give you an example. I got this very expensive instrument, the Apple Watch. How many of you have it? It's very expensive. If you don't have it, probably you don't need it, okay? The one thing that if I look how many steps I walk during the day, here it says 3444, 3,400 about. I walk now, so I make steps, and guess what? It doesn't tell me. In 5 minutes, suddenly the numbers will pop out, the increment. And they forgot that there is a thing that instant gratification, human beings would like to, if they do something, especially if they do an effort to walk or run, they would like to see the results right away. And not in 5 minutes, 6 steps, 34, 44, although I moved probably 20 steps. So they forgot about this basic human need of instant gratification, okay? So that's just one example. And so those considerations are becoming more and more important nowadays when you have wearable computing and the Internet of Everything. And that's why I put it here, the evolution. So what we need to do is we cannot just, I'm not an engineer, but sometimes I'm acting like one, but we need to go beyond engineering. having an engineering degree or engineering experience and working on consumer electronics nowadays is not enough. And I'll show you in a few minutes examples where the industry actually fails because they don't consider the human needs in when they design and implement their instruments, okay? So that's why we have now the life science technical community of IEEE, which tries to bring people from the life science, people from health, people from psychology, together with techies, with engineers, and bring information scientists together so they could work in teams together and learn from each other. So you will not have devices like the Apple Watch that doesn't let me know how many steps I walked. It's still, oh, now it updated itself. Now it's $34.94. I walked 50 steps. But now it's telling me, after how much? 3-4 minutes, okay? That is not acceptable. So that's why I bring you the chart that nowadays it's very important, and now we have an opportunity in IEEE to actually work together. All those people from all those disciplines are working together and making the result, hopefully, are better products. Any questions? You have a question? You don't have a question? What? Not yet? You should have a question before I start talking. Any question? Okay. And I'll give you an example. How do you advance the slides? Okay. What I did some experiments. I had on me, right now, if you look at me, I have the watch that counts my steps. Unfortunately, the watch does not count how many stairs I climb, but I have also an iPhone here that does it for me. It synchronizes the step measurements together with this, okay? I have another iPhone here, and I have in my pocket, if you dig deep enough, I have 2 tracking devices of the same kind. Those are 2 Fitbits, and I put here a ribbon so I could tell which this one syncs with the iPhone here, and this one syncs with the iPhone there. So a few weeks ago, I had another set of devices. I'll call it W. I don't want to mention the company. W, okay? Devices like this in my pocket here, and what I did, it doesn't. This device does not measure. You know, the Fitbit, for example, they measure steps. This one, and also how many stairs I climb, how many flights of stairs I climb during the day, and typically, I would like to have 10,000 steps a day and 20 floors, okay? And with the other one, with the W, it gives you steps, but instead of giving you floors, it gives you elevation in feet. So I wake up in the morning, and I walk on the same level. It tells me that I climbed 12 feet already, okay? And then what I did, I made an experiment. I walked half a mile in a stadium, you know, so it's flat, and I look on the difference between the number of steps one device says compared to the other. And here, I compare the number of feet climbed, okay? Remember, it's flat, so it should be 0. With device number 1, I climbed 15 feet. With device number 2, I climbed 102 feet, which is about 30-something meters, okay? And I walk on a flat surface. So this company, the W company, I'm not going to mention its name, did not calibrate the devices. The device that measures the elevation, something is wrong. 2 devices, the same devices, in my pocket, in the same place. You know, you could tell there might be a difference between the device I wear on my hand, the device that I put in my pocket. Why? Because I move my hand. And I know that, for example, in the morning when I do 60 push-ups and I do some yoga exercises, this device tells me that I climbed already 200 or 300, not counted, I walked 200 or 300 steps, okay? I just hold in place, all right? So there is, and this one would not count anything. So there is a difference where you place the device. And you have to know that, and they should have known that. If they would have collaborated with people who do life sciences, health, and maybe the psychologists, they would know something like that, okay? That here, I can carry a bag with me, then my hand will not be moving. And I know when I had a Fitbit watch, I had also a Fitbit watch, I was close to 10,000 in the evening, let's say 9,900. And I sat on a chair and I used here my right hand to make a phone call. And here I talk, I move my hand. And then suddenly says, congratulations, you passed the 10,000. So 100 steps I climbed by sitting on a chair and doing like this. And let me tell you another experience I had. And that happened with a device like that. I typically, every other week I go from Washington, D.C. where I live, I go to New York City. And depending on the driver, sometimes the bus vibrates, goes like this, right? So one time, the device told me I climbed 39 floors by just sitting on my butt on the chair in the bus, okay? 39 floors, okay? So I thought about that if I take a vibrating device, let's say a chainsaw, and I scotch tape the device on it, okay? Then when the battery is going to be dead, I'll be in Guinness Book of Records, okay? I go in the bus and they give me 39 steps. So those people who design those devices really need to do homework much better, okay? Any questions? You should ask me if I volunteer. You have a question?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh my God. You always say to ask questions. Don't take anything for granted. Here's a brave soul. Yes, what's your question?
I have a question from the European perspective.
From what?
From the European leader perspective.
Yeah.
In the US, would that be something which is regulated by the market because consumers get to know these things and the manufacturers forced to redesign a product, or are there any, because in Europe there are some rules, there are regulatory provisions on how measuring devices have to be calibrated, and so it would be something even maybe that there are trained for TBA.
Okay, talking about Europe, the W device is European, it's French. Okay? In the US also we have very tight control from the FDA on medical devices. This is not considered yet a medical device. This is a consumer device. Okay? On medical devices they will get into lots of trouble. They will have to approve it first. Okay? But this is a consumer device, so also in the US anybody can do it very well. Okay. If you're an engineer, I'm sure that you measure it. If you look on him walking, it's probably 34.9 centimeters. With the right foot and with the left foot is 39.7. Okay, and that's very consistent. That is tolerant. You know, plus minus 0.1. Any more questions?
I have one. How much for those devices?
Cost?
How much money will be spent?
Okay.
That's right.
In the US where I bought it, it's about $100. And I bought two.
The same
I bought
price?
the W2. What?
The same price for both two?
For each one, yeah.
Oh.
This is $800. It's really a waste of money, actually. Okay. I didn't want to buy the aluminum one. We had one made of aluminum, which is maybe $100, $200 cheaper. But talking about product safety, I know that aluminum causes Alzheimer's, okay? And I don't like to have aluminum on my skin. My skin is sweaty and warm the whole day. I don't know how much aluminum is going to be absorbed through a little aluminum here, but I don't want to take a chance. So I just decided I'm not going to go with aluminum, talking about product safety, okay? Maybe it's within the tolerance that he talks about, but I don't want to make experiments on my own body, in that sense. All right.
The problem here is that the manufacturer of these three devices don't claim tolerance. You want to pay $800 to have a gadget in your hand? Be happy.
Yeah. And the one for the W1, talking about tolerance, that he tells me, like in the morning, for example, I climbed 12 feet on a flat surface, okay? Then I measured the height of the floor in my house, and I walked up and down the stairs So one device tells me 8 feet, exactly, right? And the other device says 0. And then when I clock, one second, I go the next floor, one says 30 feet on one floor, and the other says 0. So, talking about tolerance. Yes?
I was just wondering if it's consistent with respect that could be a calibration error, or if sometimes gives, or if the second device sometimes gives higher value, another time gives the lower value.
No, I found that sometimes it's consistent, sometimes not. Okay. With here, I find that one device here gives lower number of steps than this one. And in the evening, when I reach 10,000 steps with this, I still need to walk maybe 2,000 steps on this one. With this, maybe 1,500, with this 2,000. And that's consistent. You see, I put this, so I know which one. This goes to here, and this one goes to here. Okay. So the bottom line that those manufacturers really need to employ people who really understand human beings in an intimate level. Okay. And here's another example. While I was walking around the track, and you see that those W devices gave me the right number, almost the same. That's within my tolerance, Stefan. 2 steps, okay? But the Apple Watch gave me 1325, okay? So, and at the end of the day with this Fitbit devices, you see the number of steps here in that particular day was 11,160 and then 11,569, so it's not a big difference. It's about 400 out of 11 to 11,000. It's not too bad, okay? Less than 5%. Number of floors were the same, and the active minutes were also the same. So actually, those devices are a little bit more consistent than the double devices. And so the bottom line is that we really need to understand how human beings operate. What do they expect from those devices in a human way? I expect when I walk to have the number of steps go up as I walk, and this one do it. The watch doesn't do it. I also expect, for example, that for example, when I buy this, each device or Fitbit has a different syncing cable, okay? Which is different from other syncing cables that you have. So if I go, for example, here to Germany, to a small place in Germany, and I lose my cable, what do I do? And why, when you go from one device to another within the same company, they changed the cable? Stefan, is that within your tolerance?
No.
No? Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Finally. Then, for example, I had a Fitbit watch. The cable goes to the back of the watch, but it doesn't go like this. It goes perpendicular. So I cannot charge the watch while I'm wearing it. With the Apple Watch, a good thing is, in addition to the fact that it looks very nice, you say, oh, you have an Apple Watch? Yeah, I have an Apple Watch. The device goes underneath it, so in principle you can actually charge it while you're walking. Okay. So that another consideration, and in order to solve that problem, IEEE has established a life science technical community. Okay, and that again organization that tries to bridge between the life sciences, psychology, and medicine with engineering. Okay, and they try to coordinate between different activities, different societies, different organizations within IEEE and outside IEEE. They like to promote an understanding of life sciences, psychology, and medicine with engineers. And they like to develop new areas that are based on coordination of the various activities and to foster collaboration. And if you are an engineer and you would like to find people from the life sciences to work together, or you like to educate yourself or find other resources of educating yourself in the life sciences, in psychology, and in health, you can ask us. We can really help you. And you can get the brochures from here. Some flyers I brought here. And you see you can pick them up. I can transfer the whole thing over. And we have 3 types of flyers. And we have publications. We have the life sciences letters. We have for 400 societies of IEEE members in life science technical community. Okay. I hope that the product safety will join. I hope also that the social implication technology will join. Where's the guy? Phil is not here.
Looking good.
What?
Looking good.
I'll tell you that that's outside my tolerance region, that he's not here. Okay.
This is possible.
The what?
No, I'm the education chair for the life science community, and we run workshops around the world, bringing medical and engineering people together so we can exchange ideas, learn from each other, make improvements in product development. We've done that so far in China, Malaysia, Australia, the UK, and this year we plan again Malaysia, Japan, and Australia.
So if you like to participate in one of the workshops, you can. If you like to have a workshop organized in your region, talk to Stefan, and he will try, if possible, to arrange something like that. Okay? If you like names of people in your region, that, let's say if you're an engineer, you'd like to connect with some health group in your area, in a certain area, in your geographical area, in a certain medical or biological area, you can ask us. We can try and match you with some group in your area. And again, my email is shmuz@mac.com. If you ask me, what is your email, Stefan?
S.MOZA.
What?
Similar to yours, except it's IEEE.org. Has a different name in the front. S.Mozart.
S.Mozart, like M-O-Z-A-R, right?
Yeah.
Like Mozart without the T.
That's right. Don't talk about my grandfather.
What?
Don't talk about my grandfather.
You know, his father was, everybody said, oh, Mozart, are you related? He got so sick and tired of that he dropped a T, so nobody will ask him. But actually, he's very musical. Ask him to sing a song. Would you sing us something? So s.mozart@IEEE.org. The what?
Just type it on the screen. You can type it in on your PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's a PC. I don't know how you type on a PC. I'm a math person, Does anybody PC experience with typing? Any questions? Questions? Don't be shy. Questions? You probably have to
jump out of it, yeah.
Presentation mode.
Try that. And there we go.
Any questions? What about you?
I haven't one answer.
But just one.
Come to my lecture after we finish here. DESAU 6, and we're talking exactly about this as from another point of view, from the point of view of regulation, from the point of view of to have a gadget or to have a medical device. This is the big problem. This is gadgets, what you have in your pocket. This is gadget what you have in your head. It's not a medical device. The information is only for your own use. You can accept or no. You remember the time in the circus, you go pushing to see the capacity of our land.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's not a spirometer. It's a circus.
But still.
But still.
Yeah.
But still, you know, people, you know,
People need this image.
you know, it measures my pulse, how many times my heart beats. I take it seriously. And you know what, if a person is a hypochondriac, for example.
Which is the accuracy of the beat per minute for your pulse?
No, actually, this one is actually quite accurate. I tested it, okay? And the one that, for example, the doubling device, it's also quite accurate. I can count 10 seconds, multiplied by 6, I have the same, it's a very similar number. Maybe it was 1. So they did well with this, okay? So, but in spite of the fact that, you know, that it's not a medical device per se, but people take it seriously, okay? People tend to take it seriously, and that means that when you have something that has medical flavor, you need to be more exact.
You have specified very good that all this piece of game, if you want, play a very important psychological role.
Yeah. So you have to take it into account. That's why you need not just to be an engineer, but also an engineer that has either in collaboration with people who understand psychology and medicine and life sciences, or educate yourself. I come from science originally, from chemistry, but I educated myself in biology, and then in psychology and in perception. So I kind of know it's possible to learn those things, but if you collaborate with a person who knows, it's even better.
Looking in the exhibition, if you go to visit, you can see minimum 20 manufacturers of this kind of devices. And surprisingly, positively, all are very correct. Anybody don't claim that a watch is one medical device. If it's one equipment which measures blood pressure, it's with approval from a European notified body, and really it's a medical device.
Yeah, they don't claim it, but you look on the user, I'm a user, I take it seriously, okay? I walk 10 steps, I want to see 10 steps in spite of the tolerance that Stefan has in his mind.
But basically your results obtained, any doctor, any physician cannot take a decision.
Cannot take a decision? We'll talk later about the medical decisions, okay?
But also maybe one remark on this, even though we can continue this discussion from 11:45 in another room. From the legal perspective, it's also, or at least the European approach is that it cannot be decisive whether the manufacturer himself says this is a medical device, it's not a medical device, but still from the description he gives about the product, whether he indicates or, as you said, from the psychological view, gives the consumer the feeling this might have or might help for medical diagnosis or medical therapy. This could already make it a medical device within the European legal framework. So, and therefore, I would like to add that within all these competences you need for having products that fit consumers' expectations, you need psychological people, you need these life science people, biology experts, and engineers, but you also need legal people, law-trained people that can, on the one hand, give an indication what's the legal framework, and on the other hand, also take the results from all this research on the technical side and take it back to the legislative process, because this is something, and we have to see in which direction all these technical possibilities will develop. it might be necessary to change something in the legal framework as well, as a result. So it all comes together, and it's.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see in what direction over the next 5 to 10 years consumers will develop. Whether they will understand these differences by themselves, or whether law needs to help them in some way.
Are you a lawyer?
Yeah.
You see, the perspective in the 5-10 years is that each company need to have a very strong battery of lawyers.
Right.
How write the indication for use, how claim something, to not become in the problem with the liability.
It's not just liability, but also not to lie, but it's kind of like imply something wrong to customers. Okay, wellness. And you see in the U.S., you heard in the talk that we had a keynote talk by Mark Walter, 2 days ago, and that some companies where people work have a team with insurance companies, and they will give some points to people who wear those devices and walk 10,000 steps a day. Okay, they don't ask them, did you go to New York today on the bus and you climbed 39 floors? Okay, or use a vibrating device to be in the Guinness Book of Records. So so some people take it seriously. Some people take it seriously, and but you're right, we'll have to wait for 5 or 10 more years, and maybe the rules should be tightened on those claims because people take it seriously. Like if a device telling me that I climbed like 500 feet and I only climbed 100 feet, big difference.
Yeah, and it is legally of big legal relevance if the consequence of these steps is any bonus within your insurance company, and then you can pop up scenarios that could happen. I've read something that insurance companies tend to give bonus for sharing data.
Yeah.
As in Germany, they just introduced an electronic health card. You can save and exchange all kinds of data via this device. And it's given by the public health insurance. And so the question is whether your insurance rate, your payment for insurance might depend on what kind of data you're prepared to share.
Yeah.
So these are all questions surrounding.
Oh yeah, and privacy, and the question of privacy. We'll discuss it in the panel later today, those questions. But for example, give an example where it matters. Suppose somebody has a severe heart problem, okay? Severe heart problem. And he has a device that tells him that he climbed today only 10 feet, which is very little. So the doctor told him, yeah, you can climb more than 10 feet. You can climb maybe 300 feet a day. But the device is wrong. And he climbs 2,000 feet during the day, and he tells him he climbed only 50. So it could cause him a medical problem, right? So I think that people should, not people, the government should tighten the rules on those devices, okay? Because some people might take it and consider into their own medical considerations. Yeah, and I know for sure that the W device gives me all those unbelievable results. And luckily, if I climb 1,000 feet to 500, it's okay for me, but some people are very sensitive.
Come to listen to the presentation.
When is that?
After break, 11:45.
Okay, I have to see. I have also a panel. I don't forget when it is.
The panel is after.
Okay. So any more questions? Comments? Question, comments? This side has been very quiet. Why is it? All right. You can talk to me afterwards too in private. You can send me emails. And if, by the way, you send me email, you don't get a response, send me email the second time or third time. Because sometimes I get too many emails. But I would love to read your email, and if I could help you, if the society could help you, if the life science technical committee could help you, let us know. We will be happy to help you. That's why we are here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.